All right, so we're diving into Cosmos by Carl Sagan.
Oh, classic.
It's a classic for sure, exploring the universe, our place in it, all that good stuff.
Sagan, he really had a way of making science, like, approachable for everyone.
Yeah, he did, and awe-inspiring, both with the book and the TV series, you know.
Yeah.
It reached something like 3% of the world's population back then.
Wow.
That's wild. Can you imagine?
Yeah, he really understood that science it's not just for scientists, right?
Right.
It's crucial for our survival, he argues.
And he takes us on such a journey in this book, from like these massive galaxies,
Yeah.
billions upon billions of stars, to like the tiny world of atoms.
He really wanted to get across that scale, the sheer scale of everything.
That's mind-boggling.
Like, it's almost impossible to visualize just how big the planets are, let alone the distances between them.
Exactly, and he points out, like, if you drew a diagram where the planets were actually visible,
Right.
the orbits would be, like, gigantic.
Huge.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around.
It is.
Speaking of scale, though, that story about Eratosthenes always gets me.
Oh, yeah.
Figuring out the Earth's circumference with just shadows and a little bit of math.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's amazing.
And think about the impact that had, like, Magellan sailing around the world.
Right.
Columbus, even.
It all goes back to that.
Yeah, it all builds on that knowledge.
Which makes the story of the library at Alexandria even more tragic.
Oh, yeah.
All that knowledge just gone.
It's heartbreaking. He talks about Aristarchus of Samos.
Okay.
Who actually figured out that the Earth orbits the sun.
Right.
That knowledge was lost for like 2,000 years.
Wow.
Imagine having to rediscover that.
Talk about a setback for science.
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate the tools you do have now, though, like telescopes. Although even those have their limitations, as Sagan points out.
Oh, absolutely. He talks about how, like, Isaac Newton knew that the Earth's atmosphere would always distort our view, no matter how powerful the telescope.
Right.
So it wasn't until we started sending telescopes into space that we could really get a clear picture.
Which is what makes those images from Hubble so incredible.
Oh, they're amazing.
But even with advanced technology, Sagan points out that, our own biases can still get in the way.
Oh, for sure.
Like, remember Percival Lowell and the Martian canals?
Oh, yeah. Classic example.
He was so convinced that he'd found evidence of civilization on Mars.
He wanted to believe it.
But it turned out to be, like, an optical illusion.
Just a trick of the light.
Yeah.
And his own expectations.
It makes you wonder what else we might be misinterpreting out there.
Right, exactly.
And speaking of misinterpreting things, Sagan brings up this really interesting point about our own technology.
You mean how our radio signals could be drowning out messages from other civilizations?
Exactly. It's like we're blasting our music out into the universe.
Yeah.
Totally oblivious to, like, the symphony of alien communication that might be happening around us.
It's a humbling thought.
It is. It really makes you think about our place in the universe,
It does.
Are we just making a bunch of noise, or is there something more out there?
And that's one of the big questions, right?
Right.
Are we alone?
Right. Are we alone?
Sagan, he seemed to believe that, statistically speaking.
Yeah.
With the sheer number of stars and planets out there.
Right.
It's almost impossible that there isn't life elsewhere.
It's a big universe.
He even says that the origin and evolution of life is kind of a cosmic inevitability.
Wow.
Given enough time, of course.
So if life is out there, what might it look like?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Tell me more.
He looks at, like, the diversity of life on Earth,
Right.
from tiny microbes to, like, giant whales.
Right.
To give us an idea of what might be possible elsewhere.
Right. He doesn't just, like, throw out wild guesses about aliens. He tries to ground it in what we know.
Exactly. He's using, like, scientific reasoning.
Right.
To make these educated guesses.
And he also talks about how, like, some civilizations could be so far ahead of us.
Oh, absolutely.
That, they might look at our attempts at space travel like we look at, like, ants trying to build a bridge or something.
Right. Like, it's child's play to them.
Yeah. It's humbling, but also kind of mind-blowing at the same time.
It is. It really makes you think about, like, the grand scheme of things.
Right. And he doesn't just leave us in awe of the cosmos, though. He also brings it back down to Earth.
Right. He talks about our responsibility.
Yes.
As inhabitants of this planet.
Exactly. And he doesn't shy away from the dangers either, like nuclear war.
Right. He really drives home the point that we have the power to destroy ourselves.
Yeah. It's a serious message.
Yeah. It's not all just, looking at the stars and feeling good.
Right. There's a warning there, too.
Absolutely.
But he also talks about, the history of science and how we got here.
Oh, yeah, he goes way back.
Like how our ancestors looked up at the stars and tried to figure it all out.
And how they used the stars to navigate, to tell time.
It's amazing how much they knew back then.
It is. And Sagan talks about how those ancient cultures, they were really connected to the cosmos.
But he also cautions against, confusing astrology with astronomy.
Oh, difference.
Yeah, he's all about, evidence-based thinking.
Exactly. And that's what I love about Cosmos.
Yeah.
It's not just about the facts.
Right.
It's about how we know what we know.
That scientific method.
Right. It's about asking questions, being skeptical, and always being open to new ideas.
And he takes us all the way back to the Big Bang.
Oh, yeah, the beginning of everything.
And how the universe evolved from this, tiny point to what we see today.
That's mind-boggling.
It really is. And then he connects it all to life itself.
Right. How did life begin?
How did it evolve?
And is there more out there?
Those are the big questions.
She dives into DNA.
Yeah.
The blueprint of life.
And how life on Earth went from these simple organisms to, the incredible diversity we see today.
It's a testament to the power of evolution, isn't it?
It really is.
And it makes you think about what other forms of life might be out there.
Right. Could there be life that's not even based on DNA?
Exactly. It's fascinating to think about.
And Sagan, he doesn't shy away from speculating about that, does he?
No, he dives right in. He talks about the Drake equation.
Okay.
Which is this attempt to estimate the number of civilizations in our galaxy.
Right. It's like a thought experiment.
Exactly. And he acknowledges that we haven't found definitive proof of alien life yet.
Right.
But he argues that, statistically speaking, it's almost impossible that we're alone.
It's a big universe.
It is. And he explores all the possibilities.
How could we detect signals from other civilizations?
Right. What if they're communicating in ways we haven't even thought of yet?
And what would it mean for humanity to make contact?
It would change everything, wouldn't it?
It really would.
It makes you think about our place in the universe in a whole new light.
It does. It's both exciting and a little bit scary at the same time.
Definitely.
And he talks about the challenges of interstellar travel.
Yeah, the distances are just mind-boggling.
But he also doesn't rule it out completely.
No, he leaves that door open.
And then he brings it back down to Earth again, talking about the importance of protecting our planet.
Right, this is the only home we know of.
Right.
And we need to take care of it.
He sees that connection. Right.
Absolutely. He's saying that exploring the universe and ensuring our own survival, those things are intertwined.
We can't just abandon our problems here and run off to the stars.
Exactly. We need to solve those problems.
And he argues for a more global perspective, right?
Yeah, we're all in this together.
One planet, one species.
We need to start acting like it.
That's a powerful message.
It is, and it's something that we need to hear, especially today.
Absolutely. Cosmos is more relevant now than ever, I think.
I agree. It's a reminder of the power of science, the beauty of the universe.
And the importance of human responsibility.
Exactly, and it's a call to action.
It is. It's a call to keep exploring, keep questioning.
Keep dreaming bigger. It really is amazing how Cosmos manages to be both this grand exploration of the universe and a deeply personal reflection on what it means to be human.
Right. It's not just about stars and galaxies. It's about us, our place in the universe, and the choices we make.
And Sagan doesn't shy away from the big questions. He tackles the nature of life, death, and the possibility of other intelligences out there in the cosmos.
It's like he's inviting us to join him on this incredible journey of discovery, asking us to consider the universe with open minds and a sense of wonder.
And he does it all with such clarity and passion. He never talks down to the reader, but he also never gets bogged down in technical jargon.
It's a delicate balance to strike, and he nails it. One thing that really stuck with me was his discussion of the cosmic calendar.
Oh, that's a great example.
Yeah.
He compresses the entire history of the universe into a single year to help us grasp the immense scale of time.
Exactly. On this calendar, the Big Bang happens at the stroke of midnight on January 1st, and all of recorded human history fits into the last few seconds of December 31st.
It puts things into perspective, doesn't it? It makes you realize how young we are as a species and how much time there is for the universe to unfold.
It's humbling, for sure, but it's also incredibly exciting. We're just at the beginning of our exploration of the cosmos.
And Sagan leaves us with a sense of hope. He acknowledges the challenges facing humanity, but he also emphasizes our potential for greatness.
He reminds us that we have the power to solve our problems, to create a better future for ourselves and for generations to come.
But he also warns against complacency. He challenges us to never stop questioning, never stop exploring, and never stop pushing the boundaries of what we know.
That's what I find so inspiring about Cosmos. It's a call to action, an invitation to embrace the unknown, and a reminder that the universe is full of wonder and possibility.
It's a message that resonates just as strongly today as it did when the book was first published. We still face many of the same challenges: climate change, nuclear proliferation, the search for meaning in a vast and complex universe.
But we also have access to more knowledge and technology than ever before. It's up to us to use these tools wisely, to learn from the past, and to create a future worthy of Sagan's vision.
So what do you say, listener? Ready to keep exploring? Cosmos is just the beginning. There's an entire universe out there waiting to be discovered.
And who knows what wonders await us among the stars. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep looking up and never stop questioning.